Yes guys, what's going on? It's your boy, Grappling Refrigerator Ashton here. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. In today's video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about my best tips and tricks on how to improve at Apex Legends in the fastest way possible. Now if you do go on to enjoy today's video, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more regular Apex Legends content from your boy. Guys, we are so close now to 30,000 subscribers. I know you can make it happen. Thank you all so much for your continued support on the channel as always. And just remember, if you don't subscribe, then you will be paid a visit from the number 69 Revenant. So I want to start off by naming the 5 key factors that make up any good Apex Legends player, and these will be the 5 areas that we are addressing how to improve in this video. Any one of these 5 key factors can make or break any gunfight in Apex Legends, so it's really important that you know the ins and outs of every single one of them, so that when it comes to those crunch moments, you can come in clutch. The 5 key areas that we are going to be covering in this video are movement, legend choice, accuracy, decision making, and loadout. So to get things kicked off, let's start off with movement. Now then, it's Season 6 guys. Every man and his dog knows that you have to strafe left and right when in a one-on-one gunfight, but guys, this is not always the correct way of strafing. Strafing left and right like this is often very predictable and easy to trace for players that have been playing the game for a long time, and is easily dealt with. And the best thing that you can do to effectively strafe in Apex Legends is actually to mix up your lefts and rights, and make sure you put a few crouch spams in there as well. Of course, that makes it a lot harder for your enemies to hit you. If you're unpredictable with your strafe, it's going to be a lot harder for your enemies to track you and trace you, and it's going to make it easier for you to dip and dive away from their bullets and get that knock on them. I would describe the average player's strafe in Apex Legends to be as simple as left, right, left, right, left, right, and it's often very easily predictable for players like myself who play the game quite often. So if you can switch up that overall rhythm from going left, right, maybe to right, left, left, right, or something along those lines that is a little bit more unpredictable for your opponent, they're going to find it a lot harder to consistently hit you, and it's going to throw them off a lot more. As for the best way to practice this strafe, I would recommend doing it in-game as much as you can every single opportunity you have. Of course though, in the firing range you can always do it on the bots to make sure you feel comfortable with the kind of movements that you're going to be doing with this. And if you even want to take it a step further, you can go and turn the bots to life. There are many tutorials out there about how you can do this, but it really is as simple as grappling up on this ledge, dropping all of your items, looking at the floor, and changing characters. And what will happen is that all of the bots will come to life and they will start shooting at you. And while they're not going to be hitting you with those dirty strafes like you're going to be hitting them with, it is nice to practice against some enemies that are actually shooting back at you, just so you have a little bit more added pressure whilst trying to hit them with those strafes. It's a little bit more like playing in an actual game. Of course, it's a lot harder in actual game, but it's definitely a good way of practicing your strafe against an enemy that's actually going to be shooting at you. And of course, if that's not enough for you, you can also just practice against a real life friend. As I always say whilst doing these 1v1 practices, it is only for practice purposes. Don't lose your friends over this, please. Apparently everyone has enough trouble as it is making friends on Apex Legends, so don't lose your friends over this. It's all just good fun practice. I think another area of movement that is actually often overlooked in Apex Legends is the way you portray yourself with your movement, and what I mean by that is the vibes you give off to your opponent just by the way that you move. Now if you're moving like Gibraltar here on the screen, very slowly, creeping around the corners, shooting, not crouch spamming, not strafing, your opponent is instantly going to be a lot more confident, as they know you're not as confident with your movement as perhaps some players are. However, if you run in, slide in, have this confident, aggressive attitude with your movement like Nacho does here, it gives off a much more sweaty vibe to your opponent, and they're going to be a lot more worried about taking the fight, and that can often be in your favour. It's often within the enemy strafe and the vibes of their movement that they give off that I know if a person is going to be a difficult fight or an easy fight going into it, and it is within the first few seconds that you get this kind of impression of a player. So make sure you try and keep it up all game and you give off the aggressive attitude just with your movement alone, and that's going to put off a lot of players and make them know that you're not someone who's there to be messed with. Moving on now guys, I want to touch upon legend choice this season. If you're looking to improve in Apex Legends, you want to be running a legend which is going to help you do that. Legends like Pathfinder, Wraith and Bangalore have really strong movement based abilities which are going to help you in those tense gunfights to reposition and get out, also to strafe quicker and also to get the drop on your opponent. So those are definitely the characters you want to be using whilst trying to improve your movement and your accuracy. If you're someone who's trying to improve your decision making and game sense, and perhaps you want to sit back and think about the game a little bit slower, then potentially you might want to run a Caustic or Watson or a more defensive character, as it's going to give you a lot more time to really think about what's happening in front of you. I would say there are some legends which are way stronger for public matches in general than other legends. I wouldn't recommend running Octane, Watson, Mirage or any of these sorts of legends because their abilities are far weaker in the grand scheme of things to those legends like Pathfinder, Wraith, Bangalore and Bloodhound this season. Now that's not to tell you that you can't play these characters, but I would just say be warned if you do play them that other legends are far stronger in their abilities and you're putting yourself at a disadvantage by picking these legends. When it comes to accuracy in Apex Legends, I've always stood by one firing range drill that has really helped me improve my accuracy overall. I've mentioned this in previous videos, but to practice on this moving target at the back of the firing range is so useful for us controller players. Not only is it a hard target to hit because of the distance and the fact it's moving, but you also get no aim assist on this target at all. To effectively do this drill, make sure that you pick your weapon of choice, use absolutely no attachments at all apart from a barrel stabilizer, use the gold barrel stabilizer and work your way down as you hit consistently those 200s, 190s on the target, and work your way down the barrels until you get to no barrel at all, so that you can really try and learn that weapon's recoil pattern. When it comes to improving your accuracy in game, one of the best ways I find to improve my accuracy when I'm having a bad time is to use two weapons which force you to be accurate. So I often like to run the triple take and wingman combination, as while it's not very practical for close range, it definitely helps me hit my shots, and if I'm not going for wins and I'm just looking to improve my accuracy, this is definitely a very fun loadout to use and feels very rewarding when you get those knocks. Your accuracy isn't just going to magically improve over a few games. This takes many weeks of playing and trying over and over again to really nail your accuracy in this game, and even when you think you've got it, you can have off days, so just don't be too hard on yourself if you miss a few shots. It happens to everyone and it doesn't necessarily mean that you're a bad player. Decision making is an area in Apex I feel a lot of players just throw out of the window whilst jumping into pub matches, and it really shows. This is especially important if you're solo queuing, as you're often not going to have the reliance of your teammates to back you up if you get in trouble. Personally, I find the most success while solo queuing when I go around quietly, make sure that the first shots I take in every single fight result in a knock, because then you're lowering the amount of enemies you're going to have to fight. And what you want to do is, ultimately, if you're in a 3v1 situation, get every enemy character 1v1 with you, and that is very hard. But if you can do that, and you can end up having 3 1v1s rather than 1 3v1, you're obviously way more likely to win that fight. I'm definitely going to have a future video on decision making as a whole, as I think it's a really interesting area of Apex Legends to go over, but just make sure that you're thinking about every single decision you make in the game, and not just blindly running in when you hear gunshots, because more often than not, you're going to get caught out and you're going to get killed. Last but not least, that leaves us with loadout. Which are the best loadouts to run in Apex Legends Season 6? Well, I can tell you for sure, regardless of whatever game mode you're playing, ranked or pubs, the best gun to use this season, 100% in every single loadout, is the triple take. The triple take has been buffed into oblivion. This gun is absolutely insane this season. It's because they decided to implement the choke into the triple take and remove the hop up off the floor, which overall I think is a good decision. It definitely needed to be done. However, what they also did to the triple take was increase the fire rate so you can get those high damage shots off a lot quicker now, which has ended up making the triple take insanely strong. I would also argue the triple take is the most viable sniper to use at close range, as it is often referred to as a sort of sniper shotgun, often at close range as it can hit for big damage up close, and it's actually probably the easiest sniper to hip fire when it comes to it. Using the triple take can also help increase your accuracy for longer ranges as well, as of course you're going to be taking a lot more mid to long range fights with a triple take in your back pocket. And as for guns to run alongside the triple take, well, there are a plethora of choices this season. There are so many strong guns that you can be running alongside the triple take this season. I recommend the R301, the Volt, and the Prowler as my 3 personal guns of choice, as those are in my opinion the strongest weapons in the game. However, a Wingman and a Mastiff are also very strong choices to run as well. If you're more of a close range fighter, then the Prowler is definitely the choice I would run if you can get that purple mag and select fire, as it's just so forgiving and such a strong weapon as well. However, if you're more of a mid-range fighter, then the R301 is definitely for you. The recoil pattern is very simple to learn and can definitely help a lot of players feel like they're improving their accuracy, as it's quite an easy gun to use to beam people with from mid-range. But guys, with all of that being said, that is the end of today's video. I hope you have enjoyed. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more regular Apex Legends content from your boy. Until next time guys, it's been your boy Ashton. I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy, and goodbye.